Bruh, when I tell you handle that thing like a G.
Listen, I'll run it for my life. Down with you.
I swear, I thought he was gonna fall straight down. I was like, okay.
How about to jump off the
I
roof?
saw that foot action. I didn't know what to think. I was like, oh shit, I can't help him. I'll try. I can grab his arm,
But you know what was the craziest thing about it though? You was still, and ain't nothing hit her. You know what you said? You said, you must be powerful.
what I told him was that was my normal like bee reaction. Like if a bee's swarming, I'm gonna be still because the reflexes, if you're still, you're not bothering them, they're not gonna swarm at you.
True.
So that's just something I've learned because I got stung by a bee before on Hunting Island when I was probably like 6 years old, and that was not nice.
I can only imagine.
It's hard to be calm in that storm though.
Yeah,
Easy,
I mean they were attacking him, so that was a.
No, I'm talking about you. You could have ran. You could have panicked.
Yeah.
John screamed and broke all. John, listen,
Yo,
John
that's
didn't
why.
even touch two
That's why.
steps, and he was at the bottom.
That's why all
But
I
I
can tell
didn't know
you
what
is
was going on. Honestly,
she-
it took me a minute after
she
you
was
started
actually
saying about
sitting with her back
the swarm.
turned.
Then I was like, okay. Then I started seeing them, and I was like, okay.
You know what's so crazy? Her back was turned, and when she heard the noise, all she said was, "Did he fall?" I was like, "No, boy." I was like, "Yo."
Hey, you know what's crazy?
You a G.
It would have been a better fate. I would have rather
Might
fell.
have been.
Listen, oh my goodness. Anyway,
But yeah, like you said something important just now when she was talking about that. You said it's hard to act calm when you're in the storm.
right,
It's hard to be calm when you're in the storm. I like that.
right.
I like that. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever been in a storm, Doneilla?
I feel like I'm always in some sort of storm.
Explain.
I am the storm goddess.
I like that. I like that.
And real talk, someone
That's deep.
gifted me
That's deep,
a
boy.
beautiful original picture, artwork.
Okay.
That's called Storm Goddess, and it's a likeness of me. It's a sister. She looked like Storm off of the Marvel thing.
Yeah, X-Men.
Yeah, and she's in her form, and she's got these gray locks just flowing,
I gotta see this.
and this moon, and this whole like almost marbled art effect in the background, and it's called Storm Goddess, and this was gifted to me
That's tough.
That
by
is super
Richard
tough.
White, and it's called Storm Goddess.
Richard White, shout out to him. I know him.
Shout
That's
out
a
to
deep
him.
dude.
He is very deep.
That's a deep soul brother.
I am
Very
great. That's my
artistic.
first piece of.
What job could he not do? What job has he not had?
I don't know. Because you know,
That's a
I
deep
knew
dude.
Richard.
Shout
I don't
out-
know if you
shout
knew
out to
Richard
Richard
from
White.
back in the day. I didn't know
Back
him
in the
as
day,
Richard
day.
White. I knew him as Dennis. So,
Back in the day.
yeah, back in the day.
He used to run with my uncle.
Yeah.
My Uncle Lenny.
So I feel like I'm always functioning in a storm, but it's how I manage the elements, and I'm very conscious of that, just managing
Wow.
it, because it's something always trying to come at you, and you just have to know how to either flow with it or get the sword out,
That's
I
deep.
like that. Wow.
and that is what
Wow.
it is.
Wow.
If I'm going through stuff, it's generally because the kids got some stuff going on. Everybody's growing up at the same time. I have
Okay.
teenagers, 18, 19, 15. Then me, 43. I'm still growing. I am not in denial that my ass is still growing.
I think that if you are
That's
not
good.
continuously growing, you aren't living.
Right.
good.
Real talk. Like I'm still gonna be trying to learn stuff when I'm 70, 80.
Right.
Because what happens is the gaps have to be bridged.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest issue we got is some people get a little older and forget that it's okay to have some youthfulness in you. It's
It's
okay to
okay.
have fun. It's
Yeah.
okay to let your hair down.
Yeah.
And then you got some young folks that think they can't learn anything from older people, which has
Mhm.
never been the situation with me. I kind of cling to older people.
Oh,
Because
so-
obviously if you know something, if you've been there before, you know better than me.
Right.
So you know what I mean? That's the connection I always
Right.
had with the elders, you know?
Right.
So I like how you said you was managing the storms though. Like I think that I could definitely learn something from you
Yeah.
on using the elements
Yeah.
instead of letting them beat away at me.
And I also say that I have peace in my storms too. Like it's not like I'm in chaos and confusion and functioning like crazy. I have peace because I know that nothing that perceivably seems like it's against me is going to penetrate me if I am still and I can manage it.
I like
I
that.
can flow through it.
If you are still,
I'm still.
That's a deep concept, because some people would think that those two things can't be right at the same time, to be in a storm and to be at peace.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But then if you got to put your mind kind of in that. You know what I'm saying? Even if that tornado's around that house, that doesn't mean that your soul is going to react violently
like
to the tornado. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like
You
that.
maintain your own peace, so your spirit is outside of your circumstance.
Right.
And that's what makes it powerful. You know,
Bro,
what I'm
you
saying?
just did a
Right.
heck of an example of that just now, bro. It was a tornado around you, and you really was still, bro. Like, I didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah.
Like, you was
Yeah.
still, bro, while you was under attack.
When you're trying to make your best decision, it's only gonna come out of your best mind.
Right.
That's so
So
true.
no matter what happens, if you allow yourself to become so intense or so, you know what I'm saying, energized, that you lose control of yourself, there's no way that you can make your best decision
Right.
possible. So sometimes, even if you're getting stung by hornets, you gotta stay calm, because
You do.
the ledge right there, I can't just panic. You know what I'm saying? I got to figure out a way out. Plus, I don't want to bring,
Ledge right there.
you know, the hornets over to the guest, and it's a lot of things that go wrong. So
That's
sometimes
so
you
true.
gotta wait.
Yeah, you
gotta
got
take a
to go
couple
Boy, you was
Matrix.
still.
You know, you
was
gotta take a
super
couple
still.
stings for
You got to
before
go
take a
Matrix
step.
on it.
I like
Yeah.
that, bro. For sure. I
Slow
like that.
motion.
That's powerful though, storm goddess.
Yes.
What about when you get to that point where you feel like you are the storm? You ever felt like that?
Oh, you know, so for me, I'm going to take some steps back so I can get back to me. So if I am that storm, I have to look in the mirror at that storm and see what's up with myself. Like, I'm actually in a sort of stage right now where I've told my beloved, I said, look, I need 30 days to myself.
Okay.
30 days is not realistic, but at least half of that or a fraction of that.
Right.
I need to be ghost with just myself.
I just need 3. But
Yeah.
you just need that time.
I
real
just
quick.
need that time, because
Right.
I have not been by myself. I don't know when the last time I've been by myself.
Wow.
It's not healthy. People
Yeah.
think it's offensive. It's not even offensive.
not
It
offensive.
means nothing to longevity.
Right.
It's just a simplistic fact
Yes.
that I need some time to
I
digest
need
myself.
some time.
Amen.
Without eyes on me, without ears on me, I
Right.
need time to just. And you know what? When you go to sleep,
Mhm.
that's what your mind does. You know, your mind is most active when you're sleeping. You know
Wow.
why?
That's
It's
it.
by
Absolutely.
itself.
It's by itself.
Right.
It needs you, the body, to shut down.
Yes.
So it can relax and be itself, and it's energizing.
Man.
Absolutely.
So that's healthy though. You got to do that though.
And
Hey.
when you're resting, you're getting receivables, you're getting downloads, you're getting messages, and a lot of people don't understand that. That's why I look at people when they say they don't rest well. You got to get that right, because when you're resting, you're in your subconscious mind, you're in your deepest levels of thought, and it's important
True.
to be tapped in and tuned in. So
True.
So let me go back to this for a second. This is interesting to me. Y'all know I couldn't let that thing just slide by right there, right? So your beloved, 30 days. You need. Let me tell you what I think. I think that a lot of people need to start respecting their beloveds. What I mean by respecting is taking all your feelings out, letting them be who they are.
Right.
I'm talking about no inhibitions,
Right.
not holding the grudges,
Yeah.
being
Exactly.
kind to the heart,
Exactly.
forgiving, because you're not going to make it without that. That has been the one lesson that I've had to learn, that is the only reason why I'm still married to this day. Like, because when I look at my wife, me being unselfish is she need a break.
Right.
Like, I can see it. And
Right.
if you're not in tune with your partner, you need to ask yourself, what are you doing here? Because if you don't know your partner enough to say they hungry, I need to at least know my partner enough to say she hungry,
Yo.
or she needs some sleep,
that's
and I
a
need
word.
to take them turn. I need to dip. You know, especially God that gave me the strength. I'm energized today. Let me go ahead and let her bounce back. And in turn, we build in a mutual respect here. So when she see me hungry, she know I'm hungry.
Right.
She gonna feed me. You understand what
That's
I'm saying?
that balance.
And it has to be a balance, or else there's gonna be some serious disruptions going on
Yeah.
here. Because you know what? A person that needs a break is a person who is weary. They don't have to look that way. They don't have to talk that way. They don't have to act that way. And of course, if you love somebody, you're going to try to be stronger for them in the first place, right?
Yeah.
So then you end up getting weary, but you also beating yourself down on the inside. And you also, now you're lying. Because you ain't telling the truth.
You're not being.
You see what I'm saying?
Now, let me ask you this, because I'm feeling what you say, Cutter.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel sometimes it's even more devious. And I say that
Let's
in
go there.
saying that most people know what you need.
Mm.
It's just they're not willing to give it.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Boy,
That
you ain't had to
selfishness
do that.
kicks in.
Most
You
people
said
know what you
most
need.
people know what you need.
They're just
but
not willing to
ain't
give
willing
it.
to give it.
Yeah.
Most people will tell you, you want me to, but I'm not going to.
Yep.
That'll be the talking point in the argument. You boldly tell me, you want me to do something, but I'm not.
How easy is it to say yes? Hey,
Yes.
let me tell
You know
you
what I'm
something
saying?
though. We got to explore this, bro. How easy is it to say yes? It's so easy.
It's hard.
So when
it's
a person, listen, check the flip though. When you say no, you got to put thought in that thing. You got to figure out why you can't let them go. You got to figure out why you even feel that way. Right. But if you just say, they say I need a break, you say, cool. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's less hell on both people.
It's an art to it.
But it comes with, like you said, unselfishness. Now, what about the art?
It's an art to it. And one is like assessing the communication between each other.
Okay.
I may not be a verbal communicator. I may be expressing myself through my emotionality, right? My partner, if he's tuned in and tapped in, he will know that about me. He will recognize Queen need a break. Queen is carrying this crown, and this is bothering her. She needs to get away so she can continue to rock that crown.
Ooh, that crown get heavy.
And I am going to reciprocate and know to do the same thing for him.
Right.
It's about knowing each other, but when we are too ego-driven and we're not willing to compromise and give each other that space to, although we are in a union, a sacred union we are supposed to be in, that's what we're signing up for.
Right.
We have to give each other room to be.
I totally agree.
We got to give each other room to be.
And I agree with you, and that's why I say most people know. Most people know you need that space. Most people know you need that time. You might know you need the love, and most things have been communicated. So I'm asking because I don't know.
Right.
Why withhold something from somebody and claim love at the same time? That's the puzzling thing.
You know what you just said? And we'll bring that back to selfishness. That's premature love. See, I don't fault a babe. You understand what I'm saying? I don't fault my little 2-year-old son as much as I can fault my 14-year-old. This is a real situation. Why? Right. With my 14-year-old, I done taught you this. You know how to pee. You piss on the toilet, we got a problem. Right. The 2-year-old, he might whiz all over the bathroom. But guess what I got to do? Wipe that thing up. He a babe in this thing. Right. He ain't deep in this thing yet. Right. So what I'm saying is a lot of people jump themselves ahead. A lot of people move too slow. A lot of people just ain't focusing on the rhythm that's in their own relationship. Right. That's the real problem. People be looking at other people's stuff, trying to run with them. Or either, hey, one time, I'm going to tell you right now, early in my relationship, I remember some of my people's had a big old TV in their house. And I remember my lady came home. This young, I was like 22, bro. She came home and she was like, hey, so-and-so got a big old screen. And then you know what I said? I may have been wrong, but I had to say it like this because I needed her to know we can't look at other people's relationship. I don't give a damn if it's just a TV. Right. I said we got a TV too. And it's one in that room. And it's one in that room. Right. And we watch it every day. Right. And we have a good time. And we eat in front of it. You know what I'm saying? They got a TV, but they got love in their house. Right. You know what I'm saying? They got TV, but is they working towards something? Right. They got TV, but is they building business? Right. You see what I'm saying? So I think that a lot of times, bro, we look at the other lane when we supposed to be running in ours. Right.
That's so true because
you gonna trip up trying to watch me?
No two unions are alike, and I'm telling you, there's difference between relationships and sacred unions. Right. When you're in a sacred union, you have formed a covenant with your beloved. You're not on the commercial, traditional Western ideology of what this thing should be. Right. This is about the ancestors. This is about the love. This is about we can't survive without each other. Wow, like so we powerful. Cannot survive without each other. You bring so we gotta have the divine principles. We're masculine and feminine, and sometimes we are showing up in these sacred unions too masculine, too feminine. See, and then that's when we're not in rhythm with each other because we too busy being overly masculine or overly female, over feminine in our relationships. And then it leaves lack of balance. Overly masculine. Overly masculine.
Here comes a question now. Now I'm questioning you. Then are these subsets, are they God-given, meaning are they changeable? Can I change the level of feminine or masculinity I bring to a relationship?
Absolutely. See, I think, first of all, God is both masculine and feminine. We got to start there, number one. God expresses himself, herself, masculine and feminine. Right. Woman is the second self of God. Right. So when we show up in relationships, it's natural for women to feel like our men should be the provider, the protector, all of these things. But if he's so busy being that and forgets to be nurturing to us, being caring to us, and not overbearing to us and wanting to limit us and control us, then that's that masculine showing up too much. So you got to have that balance.
Let me ask you this then: how do you how do you judge a man by his interaction with his kids? Like when you see a man with kids, does that turn you? Is that like a discount? Is that a credit against him? Or if you see a man with kids, can that be a positive for him?
I think the reality is most of us are going to be with people who already have establishments, meaning you come to the table with children already. Mm-hmm. So to me, it's not a turn off, and your dealings with your children is going to be an indicator for me of what type of man you are. Right.
Mm-hmm. And the only reason I ask you this, because, I got married basically like 18, 19.
Okay. Started
raising my family. We talked right out the chute. You know what I'm saying? So as things dissipated, in that marital agreement, and I started out on my own, I was early 30s, late. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just out on the market. But I got kids, you know what I'm saying? So when I'm in the dating scene and I'm spitting game and I'm talking, everything is nice, you know what I'm saying? Nice. I'm dropping the lines. You deep, you know what I'm saying? We had a good conversation. And then Errol might hit me with the, Daddy, can I get some ice cream? I'm like, yeah, baby. Hold on one second. She's like, you got kids? Now, listen, that's a tough question because you got kids could mean a lot of things, and I got a lot of kids. And I don't want to be like, so because I know it's coming next. I'll be like, yeah, I got kids. So here's the next question.
How many
you got? Now, here's my problem with this, cousin. We're talking quantities. You're not saying why you got kids, how you got kids, what you feel about your kids.
How many baby mamas you got?
Do you love your kids?
That's the question, too.
It's quantity.
That's the next one.
Because they're trying to see, can they deal with those women in the book?
So now I'm being judged. It's prejudice.
That's
Because now you're judging me based on certain numbers going to mean certain things. Right. You don't know the backdrop of this. Right. You don't know the why it is. Right. And I'm telling you, I had things go great, and then the kids was mentioned, and then boom.
So let me ask you this.
Make you think like, so do you want me to lie? Was that better?
So can I ask you this real quick? Do you feel any less of who you are because you have kids?
No.
Do you feel like your value went down?
I only feel like I'm something because I got kids. That's the rocker to me.
That's amazing.
When I see a man with 5 kids and he's doing for his kids, I see a man that's building generational wealth on the home front.
But see, the flip side is though, your kids live with you though. Yeah. See, you're not in the category that most fellas is in, homeboy.
It's all about
you with your kids every day.
It's about your value system. Some people went out and bought cars. Some people went out and bought a good time. Some people went out and I just wanted kids. I just wanted to leave with something. So that's all I was ever about, was kids. Right. That was my fondest time and my most troubled time. Mm-hmm. And so that's my most sacred time. Man. Childhood is the most sacred time. Everything else is just all right. But the childhood, come on, imagination, that is the best time, or the hell, because you're not in control. And for me, I experienced both. So I always wanted to have kids and make sure they experience the latter.
There's a quote by Frederick Douglass, and it's one of my favorite, and it goes, it's harder to repair broken men than to raise children. Right. It goes something like that, but the premise is, it's harder to raise broken men, but it's easier to rear whole children. Right. You know what I'm saying? So if you have that in your heart and your spirit, that you're bringing up a generation of productive young people, kings and queens, you're leaving a legacy. Right. We need more of that.
Right, man.
More of that.
Hey, and I honestly, bro,
and you're involved with your children. Right. You're totally involved with your children. Your family's involved. Like, it's a holistic approach to your children. So I gauge a man by his interactions with his children. Right. His lack of interaction with his children will tell me something too. But it's not exhaustive, because there may be some other issues that I don't know about. But like I said, most of us are coming already to the table with a past. Right. That's just the reality. Especially if you're a good-looking brother, a good-looking sister. Okay, if you ain't got children, what the hell's wrong with you? What the hell?
Hey, look, that's deep though. That's deep though. You right though.
Hey, true story.
Especially you've been mixing.
I was talking to J.O. Jesse Owens. Okay. So that's like,
shout out to Jesse.
Yeah, so we call each other like cousins. Like when I came out here, I stayed with Butch. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So Cool James, Cliff. You know what I'm saying?
That's my family.
Yeah, those are like brothers. Like that's just who I was with. You know what I'm saying? So they was like fans. So I ain't had no family, so J.O. became my cousin. You know, I made him my cousin. You know what I'm saying? That's my cousin. We riding with that forever. You know what I'm saying? So long story short, we was on the deck and we was drinking and talking, and he was like, "Man, Willie T boy, like on some real stuff. Like you showed us that being a daddy stuff. Like you know what I'm saying? Like on some pioneered that jump. Like back in."
And these are guys who just kind of becoming dads now, right?
Well, kids might be 3, 4.
Kind of new to the game.
What I'm saying? But I got kids about to graduate high school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I've been single, like holding it down.
You
like,
learn that thing called sacrifice early.
And the proof is in your seeds.
Right.
I mean, I'm talking to your daughter. I'm enjoying my conversation with her.
Right.
Like, I've seen your children before, but this is the first time I've like engaged with them.
Right.
Your fruits are in your children.
Yes,
I believe that about mine.
Right.
In Africa, they say the highest form of adornment is your seeds.
Ooh. Exactly. Wow.
And you remember one day we was chit chatting, bro, and I remember you went in deep on that about how much your value is your kids. You know what I'm saying? And you brought that back around today.
Right.
And I just wanted to go back on something real quick and say that a real soul sister, bruh, would be honored to have a man that's raising his kids.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, maybe some of that might trickle onto my turn.
And like if we happen to have
maybe I could bring my son around here and he might learn how to drive a tractor or build a house.
And if we happen to have a child, I can deal with him for the next 18 years.
Oh, run that bag. Hold on.
If we happen to have a child, I can run with him for the next 18 years. Because some folks is some nightmares.
Hey, and if we don't make it, at least I could work with him.
At least I can work.
Hey, at least we can meet up at a designated area. We can pick out the clothes.
Yeah.
I mean, we can pick out the school, the daycare.
There's one thing I have to say, and a lot of our issues in our community is rooted in our mating practices.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that we lost.
Wow. Backwards.
On our sojourn.
Our
elders were involved.
Valuable,
you know,
thing.
Backwards.
But let me tell y'all this. This is a real story.
Okay.
My family knew my children's father wasn't about shit.
Okay.
Wasn't until after I left his ass. Oh, we knew he wasn't. I'm like, well, why nobody said anything?
Right.
Y'all let
Usually the family jump in and try to.
No, I heard about it after the fact. I would have welcomed. I might not have really paid. I might have, been in my feelings, but at least I would have took that into consideration that somebody in my family didn't think something was right about this dude.
You're the only one.
You know what I mean?
I came
Can
back
I ask
from
you
Delaware
something?
making mistakes.
How old were you when that happened?
I was in my young 20s, my early 20s. Are you saying as far as when they told me?
No, when you met him.
Oh, I was 21.
21. At the age of 21, had somebody said, this ain't the guy for you, don't mix with him, would that have made you really not mix with him, or would it made you?
It would have made me throw caution to the wind.
Okay,
if I would have really, and if
made you stop mixing earlier.
Mixing, yeah, and even
go
having
right.
conversations.
I only ask that because I know the me at 21, but I was a problem. As far as
my children's father was 10 years older than me. Here's the other thing: I should have had conversations with his mother, his sister, and his previous wives.
So you didn't know any?
I didn't know. Like, I knew the surface stuff, but I think we got to really get back to, let's have conversations with the family about this, because a lot of times the family will let you know. Your family might not let you know. There's some family members that look, but you talk to the family, they probably gonna tell you.
My family gonna tell you. Hey, my family gonna tell them.
Let me tell you why I say a mating practice is backwards.
All right.
You got people in certain positions that don't give a damn how many kids they have.
Okay.
But usually those people are not our highest performers or our best representatives.
Yeah.
You got those people who are freely procreating without regard aren't of higher intellectual status. That's a fact.
Wow.
Most college graduates have less than 2 kids. Now the most intellectual people are deciding, because of the cost and all the other things, and not to procreate. So how are we ever going to progress towards a better society when the worst of us keep mating and the best of us won't?
That's deep, man. Oh, that's deep, man.
I mean, I got a cousin right now. She on baby number 7, and I asked her, I was like,
number 7,
cousin, because I'm concerned, when you gonna stop? Oh, I'm not gonna stop. This is me being fruitful. Like, she gave me some little soliloquy about it, and I was like, okay. So in my mind, I'm like, you just choosing to have as many babies as you want without a care in the world of how they're gonna be taken care of.
Right.
When something happen to you, who they gonna be with? You already got kids split up in different houses. Like,
man.
But she hasn't done anything to stop her from having children.
You know what you just said? The mating process is backwards, but guess what else is backwards, man? The household, homeboy. The household. Because the whole structure that these kids are coming up in, it's a problem. And what you just said just now, you said some of her kids over here, some of her kids over there, but she's still having kids. Clearly, this person does not have a respect for her children.
What we think makes
she don't respect her children.
That's what makes the household, though. That's what makes the household.
This is what's going on. The same thing you're talking about.
So these 11, 12, 13 kids that grew up in this situation, and then this one kid grew up here. You feel what I'm saying? Now these 13 kids that's exponential growth of foolishness. You know what I'm saying? And if people who know better aren't willing to raise kids, it's like well that's the only purpose you really have. Like you expire. Everybody has an expiration date. The job is to come and to do your best to create a little crop behind you that's going to take care of the earth, facilitate the jobs and needs, keep society going. This is basic societal function. Right. So
civilized function.
Basic civilized function. But it's out of order now, because to the extent where we have people mass creating this, but the foolishness is being spread.
And then I would have to say that some of these behaviors are due to our traumatization.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of it is traumatization. When you were talking about we were bucks, and we were reared to have as many kids for the slave master to run the plantation.
Right.
You know, some of this stuff is just some residual DNA, some residual stuff.
It's still in there. Even to the point where they would even make a son back to his mother just to have that Mandingo blood, just to have that warrior blood, you know, mixing on top of each other. And a lot of us are products of this. You know what I mean?
You know the worst part is, and I don't want to sound radical, but
nah, man.
Until we deal with the PTSD of desegregation, we'll never get better.
Right.
Because I look at a time when, right out of slavery, Carter G. Woodson was going to Harvard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I look at a time when Madam C.J. Walker was a millionaire. A time where black business was on a boom. Black is beautiful billboards all up. Black Wall Street. So, you know, there was a time in American history right after slavery where black people was on a crazy growth rate, right? And then we had the Reconstruction and Jim Crow laws, but one of the worst victims of that is desegregation. You know, and it was trumped up to be this great saving grace, right? But I've never seen a government full of slave owners so anxious to do something right by black people. And if you look at the residual effects of desegregation, or the closing of thousands of black schools, the firing of thousands of black teachers and black educators, and then putting kids in the system, an all-white system, where they're spit on, lied, talked down upon, teachers walking out. How do you survive in an emotional hell?
PTSD,
It was like a reverse exodus, because it forced our brains to get rewired.
Right.
Because then we had to subscribe to, we got to work twice as hard as them to make it. Then a lot of times our parents passed on to us, we got to go to school, get this education from them so that we can get a job, work to
for them
70 for them.
And what you're saying is the worst part. It's not what they said, it's the fact that all that was taught to us.
Yeah.
I don't have to work twice as hard as you.
Right.
I don't have to do shit more than you.
Right.
Because you're not better than me.
Nope.
That doesn't exist. That whole mental brainwashing of, but this is black and this is white, it should have never been taught to us.
Then they validated it with the bell curve and all their Western psychological bullshit.
That's what made us feel like we was dumb. You kept telling us we was dumb.
Yeah.
You tell somebody they're dumb long enough, they'll believe it, even though you're lies. You know what I'm saying? I look at a kid that goes in my class, his phonemic awareness is off the charts. You know what I'm saying? He's a smart damn kid. He has a writing assignment. He writes churn, C-U-H-U-R-N.
I love it.
Right? Because his phonemic awareness is so freaking good, that's how he gonna write churn, because that's how he heard it.
Right.
Now in my class, I'm giving him points, plus I'm gonna tell him if you turn it in an essay assignment that's gonna not be like a narrative, then I want you to write churn, C-H-I-L-D-R-E-N.
Right.
Oh, why is that? Because in standard English, it's children. Oh, okay. I heard that word before. Bet. His spirit good. He got 2 new words.
Look at how you
He's
connect.
not demoralized.
He's not demoralized.
He doesn't feel like he's deficient.
Now flip, white class.
Right. I was just about to say, what's the flip though?
You write churn. He got a bad grade.
Right.
He asking what happened. I write churn. Churn? What is a churn? Are you making butter? Now I'm looking at you like, what the frick is you talking about?
Right.
Churn.
Right.
Oh, Willie, you're so slow. Are you trying to say children? Do you not know how to speak English?
Bruh, and that's a beat
And now
down.
Willie's getting upset, and
That's a
Willie might be
beat down.
going to ISS
Now,
now.
now
He's
I'm gonna
done.
act out. Now you in the behavior situation.
done.
Now they calling the people for you to get
Yeah,
a
I'm not gonna
contract.
graduate. I'm done.
Yeah, now you
How?
hey look, now you gotta be on behavioral contracts. That's another one they do.
You mad
You know
because
what I'm
I'm
saying?
pissed off? I don't want to go to
You
school.
demoralized
You
me. You
disrespecting
devalued me.
Yeah, what you?
You told me I was stupid, basically.
That's Now that's the effects of desegregation.
Right.
Let's flip that to desegregation.
Okay.
Imagine going to a school and straight spit in your face. Somebody straight knock your books down. That is stress. That is trauma, bro.
That's
Trauma.
trauma.
Now, as a parent,
boy.
you're teaching your kids what?
Wow,
Same trauma.
that's deep, man.
Same
And our
trauma.
parents went through it. I mean, you know, I know your mom. I mean, your mom right there with my aunt and them, and they was coming in on that. We just had our
That
beautiful
tailgate.
school. Why not Robert Smalls? You know, they had Robert Smalls, but then they had to go to Buford High. You know what I'm
But
saying?
here's
And be a part of this
Here's
situation.
the weird thing. Like, we have schools named Robert Smalls, but I didn't learn about Robert Smalls until an adult.
Exactly.
Wow.
Until an adult.
Exactly.
That's deep though. You
Really,
right.
probably
the,
about a good
the real truth
solid
about him.
5, maybe
Yeah,
10
they
years
gave
ago.
you a
I'm just
couple
trying to really
lines.
gauge,
Right. Because they
Yeah.
only teach us Black Shame Month, not
Bruh,
Black
they
History
gave us
Month.
Yeah.
a couple
They
lines
only
on Robert
teach us
Smalls.
slave
That's it.
history.
but yeah.
That's it. How Black history gonna start in America? Like this is when our culture
Boy,
started
and you
in
see
America.
that make us laugh though.
Why does
That's
Black
when
history
African
start in America?
American
Yeah,
history
they said,
started.
We're gonna Black History
That's
Month.
deep.
Can you start at Timbuktu?
Man,
You can't tell
come
about
on
my
now.
samosas so I can feel good about myself.
Thank you.
You
Come
can't
on,
tell
man.
about Mali.
Come
Can
on,
you
man.
tell
tell
us
me
about how y'all
Mesopotamia?
had to learn
Come on.
under our civilizations how to bathe and wash yourselves?
How the
'Cause you
Native
were-
Americans
Hey,
get pyramids.
How to
I
tame the
thought it started in
animals.
Egypt.
Hey, listen, bro. A lot of them was living with their animals, bro.
Oh,
For
yeah.
major diseases.
They didn't have
You know what I'm
soap.
saying? We showed them that domestication, bro.
Yep.
That farming,
The
that
Mecca
yeah,
of
bro.
civilization.
Everything, bro.
The
It's
Mecca of trade. If you want to know how to survive, you had to come. Listen. It's not rocket science. Everybody in the world knows that every genome traces back to Africa.
Right.
I don't care if you white, European, Australian, Irish. You're just an Irish African.
Right.
Your
Right.
mom was
Right.
African some point in time down
Right.
the line.
Right.
That's facts. You know what I'm
Super
saying?
facts.
So it is what it is. But Africa was the Mecca.
Mhm.
So the fact that we treat or have to treat ourselves in any way less, uncivilized.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why I believe we got to get back to our royal selves, because if we losing ourselves. We keep following their script and going further behind, but I feel like we're in a new dawn and a new renaissance where we're coming back to ourselves slowly but surely. Some of us a little bit faster than others.
Right.
But it's coming. It's a renaissance. We're having that new wave renaissance.